brotherhood, for the unity of us all. Even now, my voice is reaching millions throughout the world. Millions of despairing men, women, and children, victims of a system that makes men torture. I don't want to be an emperor. That's not my business. I don't want to rule or conquer anyone. I should like to help everyone if possible. Jew, Gentile, black man, white. We all want to help one another. Human beings are like that. We want to live by each other's happiness, not by each other's misery. We don't want to hate and despise one another. In this world there's room for everyone, and the good earth is rich and can provide for everyone. The way of life can be free and beautiful. But we have lost the way. Greed has poisoned men's souls, has barricaded the world with hate, has goose-stepped us into misery and bloodshed. We have developed speed, but we have shut ourselves in. Machinery that gives abundance has left us in want. Our knowledge has made us cynical, our cleverness hard and unkind. We think too much, feel too little. More than machinery, we need humanity. More than cleverness, we need kindness, gentleness. Without these qualities, life will be violent. All will be lost. The aeroplane and the radio have brought us closer together. The very nature of these inventions cries out for the goodness of men, cries out for universal brotherhood, for the unity of us all. Even now, my voice is reaching millions throughout the world. Millions of despairing men, women, and children, victims of a system that makes men torture. I don't want to be an emperor. That's not my business. I don't want to rule or conquer anyone. I should like to help everyone if possible. Jew, Gentile, black man, white. We all want to help one another. Human beings are like that. We want to live by each other's happiness, not by each other's misery. We don't want to hate and despise one another. In this world there's room for everyone, and the good earth is rich and can provide for everyone. The way of life can be free and beautiful, but we have lost the way. Greed has poisoned men's souls, has barricaded the world with hate, has goose-stepped us into misery and bloodshed. We have developed speed, but we have shut ourselves in. Machinery that gives abundance has left us in want. Our knowledge has made us cynical, our cleverness hard and unkind. We think too much, feel too little. More than machinery, we need humanity. More than cleverness, we need kindness, gentleness. Without these qualities, life will be violent. All will be lost. The airplane and the radio have brought us closer together. The very nature of these inventions cries out for the goodness of men, cries out for universal brotherhood, for the unity of us all. Even now, my voice is reaching millions throughout the world. Millions of despairing men, women, and children, victims of a system that makes men torture.
America, we are back, baby. Welcome to another episode of America Unfiltered. Glad to be back with you guys today on Wednesday. Sorry about that. Wednesday, not Tuesday. Got a lot of different things to talk about today. Is it really Wednesday already? What the fuck? That's weird. That's weird. I thought it was. I was actually certain in my mind it was Tuesday today. That's fucking weird. Okay, back to the show. Welcome back. Hope you guys are having a great day. Hope you guys are having a terrific Wednesday. Apparently. We have a lot to talk about, a lot to get into. It is going to be a crazy show. And to be honest, we're kind of just picking up right where we left off yesterday. We're going to be doing the show in the same format today as we did it yesterday, where instead of covering the big topics at the end, we're just going to go right into it at the beginning, because this is what is on everybody's mind. What is happening with the ceasefire? What is happening between Iran, Israel, and the United States in this conflict? What led us here? What led to the miscommunication, or whatever they're calling it, that led to the collapse of this ceasefire that Donald Trump so proudly stated yesterday on social media? He was celebrating it. Caroline, I mean, when we go over the press briefing part of it today, that's possibly my favorite part, because it was so funny. I'll give you a little sneak preview into what you're going to hear later in the show, but Caroline Leavitt is sitting there. She's doing her press briefing. As she's doing the press briefing, somebody goes, so I'm reading right now, it's being reported that bombs are going off in Tehran right now. What do you have to say about that? And she's like, I don't know. I'm not looking at the news right now. I don't know what to say about that. I'll get back with an answer later. It's like, you stupid bitch. You stupid bitch. Even you fell for it. You fucking idiot. Oh, it's crazy. And I get it. The press secretary's job is to say what the president wants them to say. That is their job. If she said to Donald Trump, I'm not going to say that, that's not true, he would fire her and replace her with someone else. So I get it. Do I blame Caroline Leavitt as much as I blame Trump? No, but it's still embarrassing. The entire thing was embarrassing. This entire catastrophe, it's extremely embarrassing for the United States on the global stage. We're showing everybody that we are willing to make threats and never follow through with them. Donald Trump never follows through, and that will be one of the underlying themes of this entire thing, and what I want you guys to remember as we're going through all of this today, because Donald Trump refuses to follow through, and that is one of the main problems. And I'm not trying to sit here and make the argument that it would have been better if Donald Trump nuked Iran last night and destroyed their entire civilization. I understand the implications of what his threat was. But Donald Trump consistently threatening things that he doesn't follow through on is going to inevitably lead to the United States' downfall. It is going to show that we can make these big threats. We can make these big statements, but we are very rarely willing, if ever willing, to follow through on them. And other countries are going to take note of that. Russia, China, they are going to take note of how the United States responds time and time again. So we're going to go over everything that's happened since the show last night through today, most likely what it means going forward. And then I also do want to talk about some smaller topics after that. I want to talk about some stuff with James Fishback and Byron's Section 8 retard Donalds. Fishback, new polls just came out today, and I am very impressed. I'm very happy to see them. Fishback is taking the country by storm, but Florida by storm specifically. And not just that, he's taking the youth by storm. And that's what we're going to focus on today when we talk about Fishback later. And another thing I want to talk about is something I'm kind of excited for. And he's a bit of a character. You know, not my favorite person in the world, but I definitely like this person a lot. Dan Bilzerian is now running for representative in Florida. He's trying to replace Randy Fine. He is running against Randy Fine in his district to try and replace the fat fuck Randy Fine, who should be deported back to Israel. So this is something I'm happy about, but the only statement I'd give regarding this is Dan Bilzerian does hold 2 passports. And I don't want anybody holding 2 passports ever representing in America. It's one of the reasons I don't like Randy Fine. Randy Fine is so tied to his allegiance to Israel that he always will put Israel over America. And I don't have necessarily those same exact fears with Dan Bilzerian. I know he's very American, very patriotic. I mean, he went through SEAL camp twice. He's a tough motherfucker. He is somebody who would be great in the spot, but at the same time, I would ask you, Dan, and I think it would help your campaign, remove your second passport. Take your citizenship away from any other country besides the United States. You are a United States citizen. You do not need that other passport. I understand maybe why I'd want to have it, given Jewish power in the country and given the statements he says if he ever needs to flee. Like, maybe that's an argument, but at the same time, I don't want anyone holding office that has multiple passports, and that's an argument I make all the time, and even in this moment, I'm making it about someone that I want to be in office. So I want Dan Bilzerian to be in office, but we do need him to get rid of that second passport. But okay. I got to get right. It's going to be a crazy show. I got my Red Bull cracked. I'm ready. We're going to get right into this. Please remember to like, smash the follow button, leave a comment. We read all the comments at the end of each show. Rate the show 5 stars on Spotify. Follow me on X, Instagram, YouTube, Twitch, Kick, Rumble, whatever platform you're on. Join my Telegram channel by scanning the code up in the corner. We got our Power Chat back up as well. We finally have Power Chat back up. Love Power Chat, so thank God for that. Because Rumble kind of fucked me yesterday. I got an email from Rumble yesterday. I had a 70-30 split with them on Super Chats, and then they just emailed me yesterday, and they're like, hey, we're switching to 50-50 split. And I'm like, what the fuck? So you're just taking another 20% from me? The fuck is this? What is this? I don't get it. I don't get it. 50% of my money they want to take? Fuck you, Rumble. Fuck you for that. So Power Chat it is. powerchat.live/JamesAUTV. But okay, let's get right into the show. Let's get into everything. One of the biggest things that I want everyone to focus on, and I have been repeating this on the show. I've been repeating it on social media, in the Telegram channel, pretty much everywhere. I've been repeating that they are going to treat reopening the Strait of Hormuz like the war has been won. Their goalposts on the objectives that they set out to accomplish have moved very often. It has moved from, we are going to destabilize their nuclear program, even after they did that in June. In June, they put out the article, and I showed it again yesterday, where they said, we set their nuclear program back 10 years, and if you are denying that, you are fake news. So they said, we're going to destroy the nuclear program. And then when they realized that that wasn't sticking with the American public, it shifted. Okay, we're going to push regime change. And then when they realized that they were never able to fully establish a regime change, and they would not be able to, they then switched. And the Strait of Hormuz had closed within the process of the war. So they were like, okay, we're going to reopen the Strait of Hormuz. And it's like, okay, but we had it open before. We had it open before the war. You are calling it a victory for us to accomplish something like that's retarded. We already had that. We had access to it. Now we don't, and they want to regain access to it, and they'll call that a victory. No, we lost something. Us gaining that back is not us winning the entire conflict. It's just getting back to where we were when we started. But they don't seem to understand that at all. Actually, they understand it, but the American people don't seem to understand it. Obviously, the government understands that and knows they're propagandizing the American people because the majority of Americans are retarded, but it is something that most people need to open their fucking eyes to. I see everybody on social media celebrating the Strait of Hormuz is open. Only Donald Trump could do this. And I'm like, you stupid bitch. You have to realize that it was open, right? You have to realize that it was open a month and a half ago. You have to know that. If you don't know that and you're in politics or you're commenting on politics, kill yourself. Shut the fuck up. Go fucking drink bleach. Get the fuck out of my face. Stop speaking today. Like, how are these people even allowed to vote? How are these people alive? How do you make it this far in life and you just don't have any knowledge of what's happening in the world around you? I really question it. But we have these people celebrating on social media about Donald Trump opened the Strait of Hormuz, only for it now to be closed less than fucking 24 hours later. Exactly like I called. Yesterday on the show, I said, this will either be reclosed within 48 hours or a week and a half. But I said most likely within 48 hours is my estimation. Within 24 hours. And one of the main reasons that it's closed is actually two very key reasons. One of the key reasons, which we'll dive into in a bit, is the miscommunications or the misrepresentations. It's not a miscommunication as much as a misrepresentation by Donald Trump when it came to what Iran and what the United States were both willing to accept when it came to ending this conflict. That is one of the major key points where they are both saying very different things. And then the other thing, which is slightly related to that, because it was also a misrepresentation from the post from Donald Trump and from Iran and Israel as well, is Israel's continued campaign of bombing Lebanon. So following the ceasefire agreement, immediately, we saw both countries continue to fire missiles at each other. If you watched last night's show, you remember. It happened on the show. Literally on the show, we were like, oh, fuck, okay, they're already firing at each other, ceasefire's over. But at the same time, that does happen. Whenever ceasefires do take place, like sometimes they'll fire off a last-ditch effort missiles, whatever it is, or miscommunications, or someone down the line didn't get that there's a ceasefire yet and they fired it off already. Things happen, whatever. So Fox News went on and they're reporting, oh, Israel's still under attack. Iran is still attacked. They're violating the ceasefire agreement. Even though they were both doing it, they were only reporting that Iran was doing it, which, again, not surprised either that Fox News is not being accurate, that Fox News is supporting the Israeli narrative and no other narrative, because Rupert Murdoch is best friends with Benjamin Netanyahu. It's a close personal friend of his. But so yesterday we saw all that happening. And then after that, we saw something weird happen. So if you guys remember from yesterday's show, or if you were just paying attention to politics yesterday, the United States was not negotiating directly with Iran. Iran cut off all communication to the United States after Donald Trump made the nuclear threats. Or at least that's what was reported. And what was reported is we were actually negotiating with Pakistan. Pakistan is extremely close with China, and they work with Iran as well. But we were negotiating with Pakistan. And Pakistan, when they laid out the plan that Donald Trump ended up later that night saying was going to come to fruition, that plan said very specifically in it, and let me actually get it pulled up here, because while we're going through this, why wouldn't I just show you guys too? But basically, this is one of the things from the post yesterday. Along with their allies, have agreed to an immediate ceasefire everywhere, including Lebanon and elsewhere, effective immediately. And then after that, there was a lot of talk in the United States media, and coming from the White House as well. The White House started reporting and saying, no, Lebanon is not included in this agreement. They also, we got same reports from people within Fox News. We got reports from many different outlets saying Lebanon is not part of this agreement, even though that was announced, and that was one of Iran's conditions that they needed to be met. They could not have Hezbollah continue to be bombed. Hezbollah is an extension of Iran. So this is partially where it all started to fall apart. We're going to walk down this angle where Israel was bombing Lebanon. We'll talk about this for a moment, and then we'll talk about the other angle, which is the major miscommunication between the 10-point and 15-point plan that Donald Trump and Iran were proposing. And I also want to talk about the actual ability of regime change. And when Donald Trump posted, I'll really quickly just throw this in there. Donald Trump posted saying, we have been able to effectively pull off a regime change. Who's the new Ayatollah? Does anybody know? The new Ayatollah is the Ayatollah's son. They killed this guy, and then his son takes the new leadership, and it's like, yeah, this is going to be much better for the... I'm sure after we kill this guy's father, he's not going to hate us at all. I'm sure he's going to love the United States. I'm sure he's going to love to negotiate with the guy who killed his fucking dad. Yeah, like, wishful thinking. It's crazy. It's so retarded. We kill this guy's dad, and we're like, you know what? We're going to negotiate with this guy. It's like, what? The same way we say we don't negotiate with terrorists, I'm sure they have the same logic over there. And we're terrorists to them. We killed his dad. We killed his dad with the Tomahawk missile. We Tomahawk missiled an 80-something-year-old man, and his son is now taking the leadership, and they're just like, yeah, no, his son's going to be great. And it's like, what are you talking about? This guy's going to be 10 times worse than his dad was. Imagine... Like, we killed his dad. We killed his dad. There's no way he comes out and he's just super calm and relaxed and he's like, yeah, bro, it's all right. It's all right. It's all right. Goose fob, everybody. It's all right. No, that's not going to happen. He's going to come out and he's going to want blood to spill, realistically. And I'm putting myself in his shoes. If my dad got killed, and it was from like a Tomahawk, I would consider whoever did it a terrorist, and I would want vengeance. And if I was in a position, like if then I got to be president of the United States, I would take my vengeance. Why what argument is there that this guy won't take his vengeance at some point against the United States or Donald Trump or something? I mean, it's just so fucking ridiculous. We are so retarded as a nation that people are actually accepting this narrative. People are actually accepting the narrative that his son is going to be the leader that we've always wanted for Iran, that he's going to be the democratic leader that Iran's always needed, and he's going to be the one to give women rights. Like, what the fuck is going on? It's crazy. It is actually just so insane. Oh. Okay, but let's go on. Let's talk about what has happened with Lebanon. And one thing I want to also, I guess, point out, because this is important to this point, and I've said this on the show a lot, but we kind of live in a time where we have a crystal ball available to us and nobody knows how to use it, or very few people know how to use it. I think I've learned how to use it. I think Nick Fuentes knows how to use it. I think Myron Gaines has learned how to use it. Andrew Tate learned how. I think a lot of different people, a lot of influential people have learned how to use it. And a lot of normal people have too, but the vast majority have not. And this little crystal ball that we have, what is it? It's listening to the Jews that we don't like. And I know it sounds a little crazy, but listening to Laura Loomer, listening to Mark Levin, listening to Josh Hammer and Ben Shapiro. And it's not saying what they're saying is morally correct or factually or ethically correct. It's saying that what they want, they will get because they are the Israeli lobby representing Israeli interests. So if you look at all the talking points they're saying of what they want to happen in a week, what they want to happen tomorrow, what they wish happened, that is what is going to happen. It's a fucking clear science, and it has worked. Every time you look at things Donald Trump has done and you look at their posts, you see they have been begging Trump for it for weeks. We have been begging Trump for mass deportations. We have been begging Trump for Epstein transparency. We have been begging him for JFK transparency. We don't get it. You look at what they're asking for, they get it every fucking time. So if you just look at what Laura Loomer, Mark Levin, Ben Shapiro, Josh Hammer, all these people are saying constantly, you can kind of tell like what move Trump will make next. It makes it very predictable. And I look at it as a crystal ball. And again, I despise all these people. I find them all to be grotesque and disgusting, and the rhetoric is repulsive. But at the same time, their ability to persuade the president to act in their favor or to act according to what they want to happen gives us insight into what the president will do before it happens, because they have so much influence over the president, because they are representing Israel's interests. Israel's influence over America, the representatives for Israel have influence over the president of America. It's that simple. So you look at people in the media, you look at Laura Loomer, you look at Mark Levin, and you look at what they were saying last night. And I want to tune into that with you guys right here. And then right after that, we will go into what is actually being said or what actually happened today regarding the Lebanon and Israel conflict. Because last night, as all the MAGA plan trusters are celebrating, and Donald Trump, he got a ceasefire done, blah, 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 like this is exactly... You know who was pissed about it? Israel. You want to know why Israel was pissed about it? A few reasons. They were left out in the negotiations, and it was decided without their consideration that they would not be able to bomb Lebanon anymore. And that's why Donald Trump backed down on that point on X. And that's ultimately one of the main things that led to the end of the ceasefire, is Israel's crazy bombing campaign they did in Lebanon today, which was their largest bombing campaign of all time in that region. But we saw all these people in the Israel lobby crashing out last night talking about Donald Trump's now negotiating with terrorists. I wanted him to nuke that, like saying that it was a bad thing that the war would be stopping. And I want to tune into that really quick with you guys. Two short videos I want to watch with you, one of Laura Loomer, one of Mark Levin. And this can give you some insight to what I'm saying about like what these people want is what will happen. These people didn't want the ceasefire to last. And guess what? Within less than 24 hours, it broke. So let's watch these quick videos, one of Laura Loomer, one of Mark Levin, and you guys will see what I'm talking about. Motherfucker, I just realized I had it muted. Sorry about that. All right, here we go.
I don't think that it was good at all to try to negotiate with these people, because now they think that they have legitimacy, that they are, you know, equal partners at the table, and that they are They are equals to our negotiators here in the United States. And I think that that is a grave mistake. I think that it is a grave mistake to make these terror leaders, these terrorist leaders, these IRGC leaders who are now in charge of Iran, to let them think that they are legitimate.
By the way, this is on 1.25x speed. That's how retarded this bitch is. Like, look how slow and stupid she is.
Actors. I think that it's really dangerous for the long term of our own, not just our national security, but the survival of our country and the survival of Western civilization. I think it was a terrible decision today. I think it was a terrible decision to have a ceasefire. And I do believe that whether it's a Republican or a Democrat who we have as president in 2028, Iran is going to end up having the upper hand, because let's be honest, we're never going to have another president with the state of affairs right now in the world, in our country. We're never going to have another president that says pro-Israel, pro-Western civilization as Donald Trump. And
we're never going to have another president that's as pro-Israel as Trump. Thank God. That's the first good thing out of Laura Loomer's mouth I've ever heard. We will never have another president as pro-Israel as Trump. Thank you. That's what we've been asking for. We don't want pro-Israel president. We want pro-America presidents. Like, why is that even a thing? Pro-Israel presidents. We live in America, fucktard. That's halfway across the fucking world. We live in America, you stupid bitch. Holy shit.
Being pro-Israel doesn't mean you're pro-Jewish. It means that, you support
our... Being pro-Israel doesn't mean you're pro-Jewish. Trump is a Jew. What are you talking about? Oh, you stupid bitch.
Ally in the Middle East that is on the front lines of combating jihad. And so if we end up having...
Who's on the front lines of combating Judaism?
Anti-Semite president in the future, whether it be on the Republican ticket or it be on the Democrat ticket, they're not necessarily going to care if Iran nukes Israel, wipes out the entire Jewish population. But what does that mean for us? Then we're not going to have allies in the Middle East who are going to be able to keep these Islamic terrorists at bay.
Oh no, we won't have any soldiers or any allies in the Middle East anymore. That would be terrible. That's what we've been asking for my entire life. My entire 26 and a half years of existence. That's all I've wanted. Holy shit.
Which is what Israel does for us in the Middle East before they end up entering our country in the United States, right? We share intelligence with them with the hopes that we're able to keep the jihadis over there with the IDF on the front lines, killing these bastards so that they can't get to our country and kill us. And sometimes people slip through the cracks.
Yeah, so that was the Laura Loomer crash out. Now let's go to the Mark Levin crash out. And again, I just want to show you this to show you guys, it's like what these people want, these people get. You could very well, you can very easily tell what Trump is going to do next, literally just by listening to these retards, as crazy as that sounds.
People of Iran, what are we going to just leave them there? There's nothing that we can do, and we're going to wash our hands over that? That to me is morally very difficult to accept. And then what about the proxies, Hezbollah? I was reading these statements. Hezbollah has killed more Americans than Iran directly. Hezbollah is Iran. Hezbollah is firing missiles into Israel by the hundreds still. And here we have a ceasefire that they've already broken. And so, yes, the argument will be, well, they don't have control of this and control of that. Well, if they don't have control of this and control of that, how do we even enter into an agreement? There's a lot of complicated issues. People of Iran.
Yeah, so again, I just wanted to, like, those were just little snippets from their show. But I think it's important to show, like I said, where you can kind of get some of these predictions from and assumptions from. But I want to go into what actually ended up unfolding today. So, like I said, one of the big discrepancies between Israel, Iran, and the United States in this was, can Israel continue to bomb Lebanon? Lebanon is where Hezbollah is mainly located, but it's also an extremely Christian area. It's also one of the things when they tell you about these Judeo-Christian values, how you know they mean nothing, because they're constantly killing Christians in Lebanon. An insane amount of Christians, actually. But they don't talk about it. They never report it. They want to distract you with Christian genocide in Nigeria. They never want to talk about the Christian genocide happening in Lebanon. They literally just killed a priest not too long ago. We actually reported it on the show as well. But Israel this morning decided to unleash their largest bombing campaign in Lebanon yet. Earlier today, Israel dropped over 160 bombs across areas in Lebanon within 10 minutes. The IDF describes the assault as part of a new operation they named Eternal Darkness, claiming they are targeting Hezbollah sites Civilian apartment buildings have been completely destroyed with reports of hundreds of deaths. And there were actually figures that were posted earlier that said there were thousands of injuries. And when they say hundreds, it's not low hundreds, it's close to 1,000. It is an insane amount of deaths, and that number is only going to go up as they clear out rubble and they see who is truly there. It's devastating. It's very sad. They are killing Christians in masses, and they are using the guise of terrorism to do it. They are saying that they are getting Hezbollah. That is not true. They are also directly violating the agreement that was put forth by Pakistan that was negotiated with Iran and the United States. So like I said, and let me see if I can get that pulled back up. Where was it? Had it right here somewhere. Oh yeah, right here. So right here they go, along with their allies, have agreed to an immediate ceasefire everywhere, including Lebanon. So that was originally in that document, including Lebanon. But they completely ignored that. They continued to bomb Lebanon throughout the night and this morning, unleashing those large campaigns, and the Strait of Hormuz was open for a period of time. But following this, they said that they are going to close it. And not only did they say they are going to close it, they actually put out an official statement. And let me see if I can find that statement right here. But after they closed the Strait of Hormuz, and they actually ended up turning ships around, they put out a statement that said, right here. Basically, we don't have to read the entire statement because we'll just go over some of the key points, but they go, non-compliance with the first 10-point proposal, the entry of intruding drone into Iranian airspace, because we'll talk about that as well. There were bombs that were set off in Iran before any of this even happened, and it's still a little bit unclear where they came from. If anybody has any new information, if stuff came out while I was doing the show, let me know, but to my knowledge, they thought it was the United States. The United States denied it, and then the new updates was it could have been the UAE. So we're still waiting for information there. But denial of Iran's right to enrichment, which was one of their clauses as well. And they go, now that the very workable basis on which to negotiate has been openly and clearly violated, even before the negotiations begin, in such situation, a bilateral ceasefire or negotiations is unreasonable. So pretty much within less than 24 hours, Iran basically says it is completely unreasonable for them to continue to negotiate with a country who's actually not negotiating in good faith. And I want to bring you guys to what actually happened with this negotiation. Because like I said, there were a couple things that made this completely fall apart. But it was so easy to predict. And even without looking at what the Israeli media was saying, it was very easy to predict for a few reasons. Donald Trump floated out a 15-point plan. Iran then responded and rejected it and then put out a 10-point plan. And I want to remind you guys of what the 10-point plan was. This was the 10-point plan by Iran. They said no future aggression. They get to keep the Strait of Hormuz, which we had open before, but now they're going to be charging, well, what'd they say, $2 million per ship that goes through in cryptocurrency. Acceptance of uranium enrichment, all sanctions lifted, U.S. forces withdrawn, compensation paid, and war ends on all fronts. So basically, we allow them to build nukes, lift all sanctions, allowing them to actually generate real revenue as the country, no future aggression from Israel or the United States, and we lose the Strait of Hormuz. These are all things that would basically be the United States conceding to losing the war. And they came out and said Donald Trump accepted this. They came out and said this is the framework we are working off of. And it's very clear that Donald Trump, when he said that the ceasefire is taking place, he did not actually know what he was accepting. Donald Trump, you know, I said in the beginning, like miscommunication, misrepresentation, what was it? I think Donald Trump just didn't even know what he was accepting and then misrepresented it as if he had been negotiating and locked down a real deal with them, when in reality, he didn't lock down a deal with them. He just wanted a way out of his bluff. They called his bluff when it came to the nuclear threats. They lined their civilians around bridges, around nuclear power plants, and basically said in front of the world, if you are going to kill us, you're going to do it in front of the entire world. The whole world is watching. They called Donald Trump's bluff. And Donald Trump was looking for any way out of this bluff on the nuclear threat, where he threatened to wipe out an entire civilization. Still a crazy statement every time I think about it or repeat it. But after Donald Trump threatened to take out the entire civilization, you then had, like I said, Iran just respond in a way that nobody ever could have expected. Instead of the people freaking out, putting pressure on the regime to flip and negotiate with the United States, no. They said, you're going to kill us in front of the entire world. It was something that truly is like a little bit inspiring. You see that and you're like, wow, like that is what a nation is. That is what a coercive group of people looks like. In America, that would never happen. Can you ever picture that in America? Can you ever picture Americans standing together in a symbolic manner like that? Fuck no. It would never happen. Never in a billion fucking years. But after this, we saw the collapse slowly start to happen. We saw Iran basically say, oh, but this is what they agreed to, and they're still bombing Lebanon. And then Donald Trump and the administration come out and put, no, Lebanon was not in that deal at all, even though, like I showed you guys, in the original Pakistani message, Lebanon was in the deal. But that's why I'm saying Donald Trump didn't even know what he was accepting. He was just looking for a way out of this. He wanted to act like he was actually going to follow through, but needed a credible way to pull himself out of the situation so the plan trusters and all the people on social media like Gunther Eagleman and Cat Turd and all these retards would still be on his side. And what that led to is what we're dealing with today, where we had Israel bombing Lebanon, which led to the increased back and forth negative communications between Iran and the United States through the media. And what we saw is Iran just basically say, we're completely rejecting all the framework. The 15-point plan you're saying that we agreed to, we didn't agree to. We gave you a 10-point plan. The 15-point plan they agreed to basically says that it will be a joint venture, the Strait of Hormuz, between Iran and the United States, not just under Iranian control. It basically said that not all sanctions will immediately be lifted, but some of them will be. That they won't be able to enrich uranium at all. It's basically the complete opposite of what they said. So everything that Iran pitched in the 10-point plan is just the opposite of what Donald Trump pitched in the 15-point plan. But Donald Trump came out to the media and said they had a deal. Caroline Leavitt doubled down on that statement this morning at the press briefing and said we had a deal. But neither of the countries were on the same page. And whose fault was that? It was Donald Trump's fault. Because Donald Trump, one, wasn't even directly negotiating with Iran. And two, it doesn't even look like he read the message from Pakistan. It looks like somebody wrote that message for him. They posted it, and Donald Trump didn't even fucking look at it. Because in that message, it very clearly states that Lebanon was included in the deal and that Israel had to immediately stop firing at Lebanon. This is something that has led to a disastrous fallout for the Trump administration, something that is going to spiral the market. Some people are even conspiring, saying that this was all a ploy to just trick the market for a day so some people can make some money. Whether that's true or not, I'm not 100% sure. But it did happen. The market spiked 10% immediately. And then after that, you saw it kind of has started to turn the opposite way. And let me see. I had this pulled up. I want to see if I can... Where was it? Let's see. Yeah, this is one of the videos I wanted to show you guys. I had two videos I wanted to show you guys that talk about Donald Trump with this deal. One of them is people on Fox that literally explain that Donald Trump did not even accomplish a single one of the goals that he set out to accomplish. Because Nick Fuentes has made this argument, I've made this argument, many people have made this argument, but a win for the United States in this war isn't beating the shit out of Iran. Like, we know militarily we're stronger than Iran. We probably could beat the shit out of them. You know, it's not that impossible. But the United States set out with specific objectives. And like I pointed out at the beginning of the show, the goalpost on those objectives has moved every single week. And they've tried to do it quietly and subtly so people wouldn't notice. But the goal was destabilize the nuclear program, then the missile program, then regime change, and then now it's the Strait of Hormuz. It's moved every time, finally, till it got to a point where it's just reopened the Strait of Hormuz, which is something we had open before the conflict even started. So I want to watch these two videos. Where was this other video? I want to watch this one first. So I want to watch these two videos where they explain that Donald Trump has not only not accomplished a single one of his goals that he set out to accomplish, but that Israel's actively undermining the United States. And someone who's doubling down on this statement is somebody I never would have expected. Benny Johnson, who I don't really like. Benny Johnson is kind of fucking annoying. He's a complete plan truster with Trump. Benny Johnson came out, made a 15-minute video today. We're not going to watch all of it. We're going to watch about 45 seconds total of it. But in that video, he specifically states that Israel fed Donald Trump bad intelligence, something I reported on yesterday. And not only that, that Israel is currently holding the United States back from completing its actual objectives of America First, and that it is putting itself over America and using America as a tool. So we will be playing some of that. And again, it's not something I ever expected to see from Benny Johnson. But let's watch this quick clip right here.
That the president demands. We have not reached any of those objectives. I have full confidence that the president is going to find some way to make this happen. But he said that we want to dismantle all major nuclear facilities. That has not happened. The end of uranium enrichment on the soil, they're still enriching. The transfer of the enriched uranium stockpiles out of Iran, that hasn't happened. The acceptance of intrusive international inspections, they're still not willing to do that. And they have not suspended their ballistic missiles program. They're still firing them off to stop the production of the long-range missiles. That's just a few of them on the president's proposal. The question is the president using this 2 weeks to give our soldiers a break, a rest, to see if we can get this ultimately done? We'll see. But I will.
It's crazy. The cope at the end of the video there is just crazy. It's like, is Donald Trump playing 4D chess and trying to give them a rest so we can get this done? It's like, you stupid bitch. You stupid bitch. Well, it must be simple in your mind. It must be simple in your brain, you fucking retard. But okay, let's watch this other quick clip, and then we'll get into the Benny Johnson stuff before we get into the rest of the show.
Seated by the Iranians, having to do with the fundamental commitment to guaranteeing a non-aggression pact with the regime. And additionally, Iran's control of the Strait of Hormuz, accepting that Iran can enrich uranium. It appears that point is now void following the president's post on Truth Social and the removal of primary and secondary sanctions on Iran. Down a little bit further on the list is a broader ceasefire, including Israel's conflict with Hezbollah in Lebanon. But we can report right now that the Israelis have just launched a series of airstrikes across Beirut. The IDF is describing this as the largest attack against Hezbollah since this operation began. Overnight, Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu agreeing with President Trump in a post on X, saying Israel also supports the U.S. effort to ensure that Iran no longer poses a nuclear missile and terror threat to America, Israel, Iran's Arab neighbors, and the world. The 2-week ceasefire does not include Lebanon. That, according to Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. I do want to show you some video here from the Iranian capital of Tehran, where
Yeah, so it seems like something extremely fishy happened where they slipped that message into the Pakistan message about Lebanon not being included, and then the United States giving counter signaling messages, both saying Lebanon is free game. If they want to continue to bomb Lebanon, they are free to do so. And Israel took advantage of this. Israel saw in the message from Pakistan that they were not supposed to continue to bomb Lebanon. And what did they do? They carried out their largest bombing campaign on Lebanon that they have ever carried out. This wasn't just something that, like, if these negotiations weren't happening, they still would have carried out this attack. They carried out this enormous attack today to bring the United States right back into this war. When the United States was negotiating with Iran, they killed the guy we were negotiating with. This is not the first time that Israel has tried to draw the United States back into this conflict, and it will not be the last going forward. Every time the United States will make an effort to withdraw ourselves from this conflict before Israel feels like they have completed their strategic objectives, we will get drawn back in. Because it is what Israel wants, not what the United States wants. What Israel wants is what we are getting, as fucked up as that is. We need a true America First policy in this country, or this will just continue to happen. This will continue to be the issue. And I want to bring you guys over to this Benny Johnson video. There's 2 timestamps I want to go to. And we're really just going to watch for like 30 seconds each as he talks about these things. But I want you guys to see Benny Johnson slowly start to turn on Israel. And again, all these people in America who are in the media, who aren't, Groypers, aren't truly America First, but they act like they are because they're MAGA. Like, they'll subtly make like little digs at Israel, very rarely here and there. But Benny Johnson goes in a little further than most in this one. And again, I'm not trying to make the argument that Benny Johnson's now on our side. No, Benny Johnson is still a plan truster MAGA retard. But I do think it's good to have somebody close to Caroline Leavitt, somebody close to Donald Trump in the White House, who is repeating this rhetoric for the plan trusters and MAGA to hear. The more MAGA people we can wake up to the Israel problem, the faster we can actually ascend and the faster we can actually get our agenda in eventually. Because I know we're not going to get it in under Trump, but the goal is to replace the GOP with a more America First group and allow real America First politicians to actually get elected. And for that to happen, we really need people to wake up to the Israel and Jewish problem that's happening in this country. But okay, let's go into Benny Johnson. I have just 2 timestamps I want to go to that I want to just watch with you for like 20, 30 seconds each.
What a lie from the Israelis.
Or wait.
And obviously, then you have General Cain. This is Raising Cain anymore. We're not a part of your regime. No one did it. Not like a single town, not a single dude herding a single goat in a single hut. Said we're rebelling. Like that didn't happen. Okay, so it's a total lie from the Israelis. And obviously, then you have General Cain. This is Raising Cain. Trump said, "What do you think about this?" And General Cain said, "Sir, this is, in my expertise, standard operating procedure for the Israelis. They oversell, and their plans are not well developed. They know they need us, and that's why they're hard selling you." Okay.
So he finally starts to, and again, it took New York Times writing an article about it for him to finally admit it. But it's good to hear him say it out loud because, again, there are just like boomer retards who listen to him and just take everything he says as gold. And we do need more people to switch to the America First rhetoric.
About an operation to our president. And that's what happened. That's what Israel did here. It's unforgivable as far as I'm concerned. You should never want that.
Wait.
China doing that, I don't see it. I don't understand it. But I don't ever want it to be something that we do on behalf of other nations. Certainly don't want some other nation to walk into our White House and to lie about an operation to our president. And that's what happened. That's what Israel did here. It's unforgivable as far as I'm concerned. You should never want that. If it were China doing that, Russia doing that, or if it were the UAE or Saudi Arabia walking in and lying to us and lying to our president and then getting Americans killed, I would also be rightly furious. So it shouldn't happen anyway. I think that Bibi Netanyahu should be banned from the White House, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, and that's pretty much the end of it. But I mean, for him to go as far as to say Bibi Netanyahu should be banned from the White House, given that Donald Trump and him suck each other off there, I mean, that's a pretty big statement coming from someone like Benny Johnson. So I think that's a pretty good statement. Although still, like I said, I don't necessarily agree with Benny. I think Benny is still not on the correct side of things. I think slowly we're going to start to see more people turning because these people, they don't actually have any real beliefs. They're just in a cult. And as the cult starts to shift, so will they. So that's what we're seeing right now from Benny Johnson, from a lot of the American media. You have Fox doubting Trump and Israel. You have Benny Johnson doubting Trump and Israel. The only people who are still trusting Trump and Israel seem to be the Israel lobby. And what were they most upset about? Or the Israel media? What were they most upset about? They were upset about the ceasefire. And then what happened? Israel caused the ceasefire to collapse, along with a giant misrepresentation and miscommunication about the 10 and 15-point plans. But the Israel issue is what truly caused this to collapse. Like, they would have been able to still take these 2 weeks off to negotiate the 10 and 15-point plans. But Israel decided we're going to carry out the largest bombing campaign we've ever carried out on Lebanon today, knowing that we are not supposed to be bombing Lebanon, even though we're saying we can and the U.S. says we can, but Iran says it's part of their ceasefire agreement that nobody will. So Israel directly drew the United States back into the conflict, and it looks like it is going to be an ongoing conflict. And like I said, my prediction will most likely come to fruition that we will send boots on the ground, most likely within the coming weeks. I expect it sooner rather than later, to be honest. And then another last thing I want to talk about when it comes to the negotiation surrounding this, and this is something I've said on the show as well, but I said from the start, and I saw this because I noticed it with the rhetoric in the media and how the media is painting Donald Trump versus how the media is painting J.D. Vance and the administration when it comes to the Iran conflict. They're saying that Donald Trump is balls to the wall, all in on this. He wants it really badly. But then they also said the same thing, that J.D. Vance was the one person who says he doesn't want it. But if you look at previous J.D. Vance speeches and statements, he goes back and forth depending on who he's talking in front of. When he's talking in front of, more TPUSA America First crowds, he says, yeah, we shouldn't be involved in wars in the Middle East. But then in front of private donors and other crowds, he often says that, yeah, we need to push a regime change in Iran. And it would be strategic for the United States to support Israel in a campaign against Iran. So depending on who he's in front of, he's a fucking chameleon. He changes everything about him immediately. You cannot trust this guy. He is a Peter Thiel plant. But the media has been painting it like J.D. Vance has been against this conflict from the beginning. And they're still painting it that way. And not only are they painting it like he's been against this conflict from the beginning, they're now painting it like he is the one who is in charge of the negotiations. And you could look at this from one of two perspectives. One perspective is they're looking at it, if it fails, they could blame it all on him. They could blame everything on J.D. Vance and prop up Marco Rubio. And then the other way to look at it is, if it all succeeds, they can, in 2028, say, J.D. Vance didn't start the war in Iran, he was against it, but he was the one who ended it. That could be the campaign slogan. That could be everything they campaign on. And to be honest, for the boomer retards, they would love it. They would eat that shit up because they are boomer fucking retards. But Vance is somebody you cannot trust. We need to be never Vance, never Rubio, never GOP, to be honest. I mean, they are all awful. They are all bought and paid for. They are all puppets of the same master. And if you don't see that yet, you may never. You might not make it. You might be a fucking retard. But right now, J.D. Vance is being propped up to the guy who is saving America from this war that America doesn't want. Because they know in America it's so unpopular that they can't even tell the truth about who is supporting it and who's not. Donald Trump and J.D. Vance are both supporting this. I think they're both in over their heads on it. I think they both realize that Israeli gave them bad intelligence and they are now kind of stuck in this conflict. And I think Donald Trump is especially feeling the weight of that. But at the same time, they did openly support it. They do want this. And J.D. Vance is not the one at the front of the negotiations. You think Donald Trump, given his art of the deal shtick, he wrote a fucking book about it, his whole persona is, I'm the best negotiator ever lived. You think he put his vice president, who he doesn't even like, in charge of negotiations? You think he took his hand off the button and gave it to somebody else? Fuck no, he didn't do that. Donald Trump is not letting J.D. Vance negotiate on his behalf. That is bullshit. That is rhetoric. That is what the administration is saying to prop J.D. Vance up for 2028. Donald Trump has handled these negotiations, and maybe J.D. Vance was involved, maybe he wasn't. Who gives a shit? Either way, the negotiations are failing. This should reflect poorly on the administration. It should reflect poorly on our relationship to Israel. And we should do a real audit in this country of who we are allies with, how much we send them, and what intelligence they do give us that is credible versus what's not credible. Because it's clear to me that all the intelligence we get from Israel is bullshit. Saddam Hussein, how'd that work out? The rest of the Iraq war, how'd that work out? 9/11, how'd that work out? Are you kidding me? And then this intelligence here, how's all this working out? We are getting butt fucked. It's like, we're like, oh, we're so reliant on them for intelligence. It's like, okay, did you guys ever tell us about Jeffrey Epstein when it was happening? No, because they were the one running him as an intelligence operation. It is all right there in front of us for us to see and grab, but too many people are too stupid to fucking see it. It's crazy. All the connections are right there. I've never understood Alex Jones more in my life than when I started doing this, and I realized how stupid most people are and how right in front of you all the answers actually are and how unwilling most people are to just grab it and look at it. Like Alex Jones, he yells and he's emotional and he's a little erratic, and it's like you watch him, and I've always watched him since I was young, and I was like, I like this guy a lot, but it's like, how do you get to this? And then I realize it, because I do this show, and I'm like, dude, I want to fucking kill everybody. I fucking hate people, because I look at people, and I'm like, you're a fucking idiot. You're a fucking idiot. Like, how do you not see what the problem is when it's staring you in the fucking face, you fucking retard? It is right there. All of our problems are coming from the same place, from the same lobby, from the same country, from the same group, and you cannot grasp it. Some people are too fucking stupid, and they're just honestly unwilling, and that's the problem. They're unwilling to let go of their preconceptions. They're too embedded in them, and that is a problem in itself. But overall, this conflict is not shaping up well. Overall, like I said, the United States is stuck in this conflict, and most likely we will be stuck in it for a very foreseeable future, because even if we try and do make a clean attempt to get out of it, Israel has all the leverage to draw us back in. We don't have any leverage anymore. We don't even have the Strait of Hormuz. They have it. We have zero leverage, and if we take out Iran, we have no leverage against Israel in the future. We are in a situation where we are digging our own grave. We are loading a gun, handing it to somebody, pointing it at us, and doing everything short of pulling the trigger. We dug our own grave, loaded the gun, handed it to him, aimed it right at our fucking temple, and put his finger on the trigger, and now we're just waiting. That's what we're doing. We are signing our death warrants with this war. This is terrible. The ceasefire was great news, but at the same time, the 10 points they wanted us to agree to would just be all concessions. The 15 points Donald Trump wants them to agree to will never fucking happen because it is the exact opposite of what they want, and we don't have the leverage. The only leverage we have over Iran is we will nuke them, or we can nuke them. That is literally the only leverage point we have, is we can unleash a weapon of mass destruction on your country. But if we do that, it ruins our reputation around the globe. It ruins our reputation to every one of our other allies and everybody else who isn't our ally. And beyond that, we're also going to be committing a genocide in the process. So our only leverage point is we will genocide you with a nuclear weapon. That is our only leverage point. And if people think we're just going to be able to fire off a nuclear weapon without any other countries like Russia or China or North Korea or any other major player like making a fuss about it, you're retarded. You think China's just going to let us start firing off nuclear weapons into their continent? You think they're going to allow that? I don't think they'll allow that. Why would they allow that? That would be retarded of them to allow that. You think Russia's going to be thrilled that we're firing nuclear weapons at somebody that they do business with? Same thing with China. Same thing with North Korea. Same thing with a lot of these. You think they're going to be happy about it? No, they are going to respond. They are going to be pissed off. They are going to let us feel that pain economically and possibly physically. So again, no situation is good. We don't have any leverage. Our only real leverage is signing our own death warrant. Our only real leverage is the threat to kill all of them, which again is not a realistic goal. But everything that they said that we agreed to would be a major concession. And Donald Trump obviously has said we don't agree to that because Donald Trump doesn't even know what he's doing. He's trying to pitch the American people like we're winning this war. We are not winning this war. We have been losing this war. And even if we are beating them militarily, even if we are overpowering them, we are not winning. That's not what winning is. Winning is completing your strategic objectives, and we have not completed a single one, and we will not be able to because none of it was possible from the start. We were fed bad intelligence from the start, and where does it all come back to? Israel wanted this war. They've been lobbying for it for 30 years. They have lobbied all the United States politicians, about 93% of them. They gave Donald Trump $250 million, and they didn't do it for nothing. They did it for this. And beyond that, every attempt we've made to recuse ourselves from this, they have drawn us immediately back in. Immediately, the ceasefire ended. Within 24 hours, it ended because Israel could not stop bombing Lebanon. And not only could not stop, but decided to carry out their largest campaign of all time. We are right now under the thumb of Israel. Israel has complete control over the United States politics, United States military, United States media, everything. So I want everybody to be very aware of what's happening around you. I want everybody to be very aware of what you're seeing on social media. I want you to pay attention to what the Jewish lobby is saying. I want you to pay attention to what everyone else is saying. Because what the Jewish lobby is saying, what Laura Loomer, Mark Levin, Ben Shapiro, Josh Allen, what these people are saying is what is going to most likely happen. Again, it is not 100% accuracy, but about 99%. When Laura Loomer says, I want the ceasefire to end, that means the ceasefire is going to end soon because what Israel wants, Israel gets. The United States politics is controlled by Israel. And if you can't see it, that it's controlled by Israel and organized Jewry and Jewish interests, then you are a retard. You need to wake the fuck up. I do want to move on to some other topics. We've talked, 52 minutes. That was pretty much most of the show. Holy shit. I only thought I was going to talk about that for like a half hour. Wow. Hope everyone enjoyed the rant. Damn, didn't even really take a break there. Went off for 50-something minutes. Let's see if there's any other things I had to show you about this stuff that I didn't. If not, we will just move on. I think I got to everything there, though. Yeah, okay, I got to everything there. We only have a couple other things that I wanted to talk about after, like I said. But I feel like that I wrapped up the rant stuff pretty neatly. I think I did. Yeah, I think I did. Maybe let's read a couple of the live chats, and then I didn't read any of those earlier. Then we'll go over to the other news we have for the day, wrap up, do our comments. Someone goes, yo, from Whippet. Yo, how we doing, Whippet? Good to see you. Someone goes, The U.S. strikes on Iran were applying pressure on them to reopen the Strait of Hormuz. Now that the U.S. has stopped the bombing for 2 weeks, what incentive does Iran to open up the strait? Okay, I mean, like, you're a woman, so I don't expect you to actually know anything. That's a stupid fucking comment. See, this is, like, women are retards. This is why women are retards. Someone says, I don't think we will, to be honest. You don't think we will what? I don't know what you're talking about. Someone goes, so I can call Chinese a gay fucking bitch, but not a maggot with an F? But not a faggot? Dumb AI moderator. Yeah, the AI moderator on Kick's retarded. Someone goes, no homophobia, sir. I will kill all the clankers just to make up for this. Kill all the clankers. I'm with you there. I ain't scared of shit. They just need to die. Killed his wife and kids, too. Yeah, they did kill the Ayatollah's wife and the negotiator. No, don't fight back. Haha, I won't kill your family again. Haha, Trump right now. Yeah, exactly. Oh no, less Israel buyouts. How awful. Someone called me eBay Nick Fuentes. Kill yourself. Someone else said you have a gay username, and I actually agree. You have a gay username. What is that stupid username? Okay, let's go on to the other news that we have. Let's start reporting on the other stuff. So I want to report on James Fishback a little, what's happening there. Then we'll go on to this Dan Bilzerian stuff, which is pretty exciting. But James Fishback, he's been a phenomenon in the country. He is somebody who is ultra viral on social media. He's really, he's taking his campaign to another fucking level. This guy is non-stop. And yes, I am still in communication with him about when we're going to have our interview. Again, we did, I think I told you guys earlier this week, we did push it back once again, but it actually got like an upgrade because of how long it's gotten pushed back and because I was a very early on Fishback supporter. Me and him have been working out a little bit of agreement where it's going to be a slight upgrade from what it was originally. I might get an in-person interview, which would be cool. I'd rather do an in-person versus it was originally a Zoom one we were going to do. But we'll report on that most likely at the start of next week on the new date for the Fishback interview. But James Fishback, new poll numbers came out today, and these are exciting. And the Jewish crash out is going to start over this, but I want everyone to at first focus on what you're reading on the bottom, because what's on the bottom is really one of the craziest things I've ever seen. Likely Republican voters 25 years or younger, 81% of them are pro-Fishback. 81%. 81% of people under 25 in Florida are going pro-Fishback. That is astronomical. That is incredible. That doesn't happen in politics. 81%? That is unheard of in politics. But they're saying for the all-age demographics, Byron Donalds 28%, James Fishback 14%, everyone else is fucking irrelevant. It's going to be Byron Section 8, the retard Donald, or James Fishback. And James Fishback needs to win this. If we want a free Florida, Fishback needs to win. Fishback wants to divest the money out of Israeli war bonds, give them back to Floridians. That is where the money belongs, in Florida. It's Florida's money. He also wants to do stuff for America First. He also wants to do stuff for the youth of this country. He also wants to create programs to help home buyers, marriages. He also wants to create a full anti-abortion law. No abortions, no matter what, besides life of the mother. This guy is awesome. This guy is truly America First, and he is a true Catholic. This is something I really respect in somebody I want to get elected. And not only that, I've said this before, and I'll say it again, I really think Fishback does have the ability to be president down the line. I think if Fishback is honest and, he gets elected into this and he fulfills on his promises, I think the path to the presidency is clear from there. I think it is smooth sailing from there. Fishback is not only smart, one of the most excellent debaters, very well-spoken, very good speaker, but he is somebody who is truly America First and truly Catholic.
JT Strongbow just
Let's go, JT. Thank you, JT. Let's go. Thank you, buddy. Much appreciated. He says great show as well. Thank you, JT. Very appreciated. Cheers to you, buddy. Thank you so much. And another big figure I want to point out on this is undecided 45%. That is such a large number as well. And I think they're actually misreporting the number a little. I think Fishback's numbers are not factual. I think they are underreporting them consistently because they don't want Fishback to win. The system doesn't want him to win. The Jewish lobby doesn't want him to win. And to be honest, the government in the state of Florida does not want him to win. Maybe Ron DeSantis might be the only one who wants him to win. But even I doubt that, because DeSantis is the most pro-Israel governor possibly in the fucking country. DeSantis literally went to Israel to sign a anti-Semitism law for Florida. Like, do you know how performative that is to fly to Israel to sign an American bill about anti-Semitism? Like, that's retarded. It's actually insane to waste taxpayer dollars on that. But he did it. But I do know Ron DeSantis does not like Byron Donalds. Maybe Jay Collins is his guy. I could imagine that. Jay Collins and DeSantis work well together, so maybe that's who he will endorse. But we know Donald Trump is endorsing Byron Donalds because they both have the same donors. Miriam Adelson funded a war chest against Byron Donalds. And here's something that I saw as well that I thought was interesting. Because this is something that's newer to politics. As we're seeing Gen Z get more involved in politics, and Gen Z seems to be more aware of any other generation about lobbying and about the interests of lobbying. Before, in the past, you would hear like, oh, a politician raised this many million. He must be a great politician if he's able to raise that much money. Now it's a completely different story. Politicians who raise that much money, actually, we actually look into those more, because it's like, okay, what is he going to do that's corrupt? Why are they paying him that much money unless they have an alternative agenda that they're not telling us about, like AIPAC, like the Israel lobby itself. But Byron Donalds came out and was like, oh, he's raised a record number, like $40-something million in just this short time frame. And it's like, yeah, because they're funding a war chest against Fishback. The reason he's getting that money is because Miriam Adelson is getting all the Jewish donors around Florida to pile money into this guy's platform, to pile money into his donation pool, to try and make Fishback lose. They want Byron Donalds to win because Byron Donalds is under their thumb. They control him. They have controlled him for a very long time. And even DeSantis said, Byron Donalds has not been involved in anything state level. He has only been sucking up to Trump and in the media. He has never done anything actually efficient on the state level, and he will not be a good governor. And I truly believe that. I'm not saying you got to take everything DeSantis says and run with it. Like I said, he literally signed anti-Semitism laws in Israel. But him saying that, I think, is very true. And from everything I've seen, it's true as well. If you look up Byron Donalds' history, it's not like he does anything. He doesn't have a real record at all. He's an idiot. He's a retard. Byron Donalds should never be the governor of Florida. And to be honest, I'd rather deport him out of the country than ever have him in elected office. But James Fishback for governor, that's who we're voting for. That's who I'm rooting for. And I think this poll is very telling. 81% of the youth is on Fishback's side, and that's awesome. And the last thing I want to go to is Dan Bilzerian officially running for representative in Florida. And he's running against Randy Fine. Randy Fine is the fat fuck, the retard, the Jewish spy. Randy Fine is the same guy who tweeted out a picture of dead babies in Palestine and said, send me more of them. It made me smile. This guy is a disgusting piece of shit. This is somebody who tweeted out, would you rather have Muslims or dogs banned in America? But if I tweeted out, would you rather have Jews or dogs banned in America? Like, I would not get the same response as he got. He was celebrated for that post. I would be ridiculed for mine. This guy is somebody who his rhetoric is disgusting. He looks disgusting. Everything about him is unproductive. He is one of the worst people in this country. And the only point I actually agree with him on is deportations. We both want a lot of deportations, but he doesn't even want nearly enough. He's still a fucking retard on that. Randy Fine is objectively one of the worst and most evil politicians to exist. And not only that, there's videos of him committing felonies. There's videos of him voting for other people on the congressional floor. But somehow it just went over everyone's head. Somehow they refused to prosecute this individual or even investigate this. Again, this is because of who he is. If he wasn't a pro-Israel Jew, I promise it would have been investigated. If it was AOC, if it was anybody else, it would have been investigated. And I'm not pro-AOC. She's a stupid bitch too. But my only point is they did this because he's a pro-Israel Jew. They protected him. But now Dan Bilzerian, who he started his... Let's walk through Dan Bilzerian's life for a second just to give you guys a background of who he is. Because I know a lot about him, actually. I found out who he was when he was big on gambling. Because I've always... Like, again, I'm not like pro... I understand how bad gambling is. It's one of the worst addictions. And I encourage people really not to get into it for the most part. But I've always liked it a little bit. There's always been something intriguing about it to me. So I've always fought it, especially cards. And he was a big poker player. That's how he made the majority of his fortune, actually. A lot of people think it's through a trust fund, but through his trust fund, he barely got anything, actually. He got the majority of his fortune from playing poker, from playing one specific billionaire, who he won probably over $80 million over time with this guy. But where it started is his dad was in and out of prison. He went to, where was it? He went to, I think, a college in Florida, was in a fraternity in Florida. I think it was at FSU. I could be wrong, but I think he was at FSU, possibly not. But he was in a fraternity, and he basically started gambling online. He started gambling, playing poker, and he started making a ton of money. And then after that, he decided, I'm going to go be a Navy SEAL. So he went to Bud's camp, and he actually ended up doing it twice. So he got through Bud's camp the first time, and then he ended up getting an injury at the end, and then he had to recircle back to it again. He did it again, and they said they were not going to accept him because he was not as willing to follow orders as all the other people were, that he doesn't fit as well into a group as he does with just himself. That's how it was kind of presented. What actually happened, we kind of don't really know. We have what he said, and we have their statement, which seemed to overlap slightly, but it could also just be like what they're both saying, like an agreed upon statement. We don't really know, but he's a tough motherfucker. He went through SEAL camp fully twice, completed it twice. And even though he didn't officially become a Navy SEAL, he still completed it 2 different times, which is an incredible feat. Not only that, he also became a cop in, I think, Arizona, either Arizona or New Mexico. He wasn't officially like a, police officer who worked every single day, but he was a police officer in the same way Shaq was, where Shaq was like technically a Miami cop, where you really just have to like work 1 day out of the year, or it's like 2 days out of the year, and you technically get to be a cop. You just have to go through all these certifications. So he had that as well. He actually has a crazy video of him at the Vegas shooting. He was at that concert, put it on YouTube, where you can see that the entire Vegas story they told us is a lie. You could see like the video of where the shooter is versus where you hear the shots and see the shots. Very different. Obviously, that whole thing's fake. We know that entire thing is a massive conspiracy, and it was never possible from the start. And they're probably firing from helicopters. I mean, that's my estimation, but we can go into that a different time. But then he gets into like a gambling part of his life, the gambling in women. He was a notorious sex addict, kind of like a Hugh Hefner type guy. He would have, 50 to 60 something girlfriends at once. And then over time, it actually switched. He's now monogamous, and he said it's a way better life. He's a follower of Jesus Christ now. But during that time he became extremely rich through gambling. He would play in these backroom poker games. He was actually, like, if you've seen the movie Molly's Game, he was in her poker games. He used to play with all those famous actors and athletes, etc. He was in Molly's poker games. He was actually talked about in the, was he talked about in the book or the movie? I think it was in the book, but he was talked about in it. So he made a lot of money playing poker, and he used to, I forget the name of the billionaire, but there was a billionaire, he talks about him in his book, The Setup, that he used to play backroom games with. And this billionaire would always try and big dick him. And what that means in poker is like, say Dan Bilzerian sits down with $10 million in his purse, and this guy sits down with $100 million in his purse. That guy immediately is just going to try and big dick him, bet at $10 million, put Dan Bilzerian on the edge, be like, well, I'm going to bankrupt you off the start. And Dan Bilzerian got a quick lucky streak where he was able to go up early, and he was able to actually maintain himself in the game. And over time, through playing this guy about a dozen different times, he was able to accumulate almost $100 million, which set up his empire. And from there, he started, what was the name of the company? Torch or not Torch? He started a weed company. What was the name of it? How am I drawing a blank? What was it called? Ignite. It was called Ignite, not Torch. I knew it was something like that. So then he started Ignite. Ignite was a vape and marijuana company. And then over time, he realizes the challenge of being in that space. It's a money loser being in the cannabis space, especially in the California and Vegas area sometimes. And the vape space is very lucrative as well, but it was a little bit different. And he had a weird marketing scheme where his marketing scheme was him. He was the marketing. He would throw massive parties, call them Ignite parties, at the Ignite house, which was kind of in the peak of his gambling and the women and all that. And then over time, he decided to kind of leave a lot of that behind. He got a girlfriend, wrote a book, he found Jesus Christ. He openly said and denounced his previous actions about being with many women at once, dating 50-some women at once, etc. And then he pitched that Jesus Christ is the way and the life. He's not a, pure Catholic. He doesn't follow it all to a T. He's not the most, Christian man in existence. But he is somebody who has learned to accept it, and he is somebody who has changed his life because of it. Like I said, he is now monogamous. Doesn't really gamble in the way he used to. Doesn't sell weed in the way he used to. And he has been actively way more involved in the JQ, in the Jewish question, talking about Jewish influence on American politics. He's even floated out the idea of running for president down the line. But now to get back to where we are today, that's a little background history to Dan Bilzerian, but Dan Bilzerian is now going to be running for District 6 in Florida, which is Randy Fine's district. Randy Fine represents the people of that district, but realistically, what he represents is Jewish and Israeli interests. He does not represent American interests. So Randy Fine, as I've talked about, is one of the most grotesque and disgusting and, to be honest, utter useless pieces of shit in existence. Anybody that fat is useless to me. Fat people are unforgivable. They are sinning. They are disgusting looking. Even if he wasn't an Israeli shill, if he was just that fat, I would despise him. But the fact that he's that fat and an Israeli shill, all of it's terrible. There's nothing about him that is appealing. So Dan Bilzerian pretty much wants to run against him. Dan Bilzerian's going to run an anti-Jewish supremacy and anti-Israel campaign, while Randy Fine is going to run a campaign that is pro-Israel, pro-Jewish supremacy. And we're going to see in the state of Florida who can prevail, because Florida is one of the most Zionist states in existence. In Florida, it is crazy for people not to openly support Israel and Jewish supremacy. The idea that is crazy to the people, especially in the area I'm in. I'm in South Florida, where it's fucked up around here. Everybody here is a Jewish supremacist or Israeli supremacist, basically. And again, I try and keep a low profile in my area because of that. I don't want to get fucking killed around here. But Dan Bilzerian will test that, where like I said, you have in Florida an extremely Zionist state, extremely Zionist government, extremely Zionist media and lobby, and we're going to have an anti-Zionist, anti-Jewish supremacy candidate running against probably one of the most pro-Israel candidates that there has been in Florida's history. And that brings us to this, which is an interview with TMZ and Dan Bilzerian, where he addresses the anti-Semitism claims directly. And that's one of the things I love about Dan Bilzerian. Dan Bilzerian is somebody who is extremely direct. If he doesn't like you, he'll say it. If he doesn't want to talk about something, or if he does want to talk about something, he'll say it. He will be honest. He is somebody who doesn't give a shit about your feelings. He cares about facts, and he is on the right side of history on this one. So it's one of the things I love about him, that most people would not address this. He is addressing it directly head on.
You called your opponent this fat Jew. So he's not from Israel, but you called a guy in Florida this fat Jew. How is that not anti-Semitic?
Well, he's a Jewish supremacist, and he puts Israel before America, and I think that he should be tried for treason.
This fat Jew is anti-Semitic.
Yes. Dan. I mean, that's what you say, but how about
that's
every single time
that's what I know. I don't say it. I know
he literally talks about how Muslims are lower than dogs. So is that Islamophobic?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, it is. And that wouldn't be, that's not appropriate for him to say either. If he had said that.
But he does all the time, and he tweets that, and he's a senator.
Are you anti-Semitic?
No, I'm not anti-Semitic. I think that, that's kind of a made-up term. I think the Palestinians are the real Semites. Is it a made-up term? Yes, because if you look at what a Semite is...
Was Hitler anti-Semitic?
What's that?
Was Hitler anti-Semitic?
Like I said, it's the term is focused solely on Jews, but actual Semites are the Arabs, and Palestinians are Semites as well, and they actually have more DNA lineage to that region than any of the Eastern European Ashkenazi Jews that have taken it from them. So I kind of have issue with that term and how it's been hijacked to only talk about Jews.
So if you want to call it anti-Jewish, then you can call it anti-Jewish.
Well, I'm not going to call this anti-Jewish. When you say that this fat Jew, you could take another race and you could use another epithet, but you're anti-Semitic then.
I'm not.
Dude, he just doesn't even listen. He refuses to just say anti-Jewish.
Some of your best friends are Jewish?
Paint all Jews with one brush, but he paints all Muslims with one brush, and it's accepted. And for some reason in this country, it is okay to just blast Muslims, bash them. You look at what Bill Maher said about Muslims. I mean, it's it's this double standard, and I don't like the double standard. And I look at him as a Jewish supremacist. He believes that, you know, Jews are better than other people, and he puts Israel before America. And so I have a huge problem with that.
So if you've got a black friend that you don't like, do you use the N-word on him?
No, I don't.
Well, then what's the difference when you use the word fat Jew for a Jew you don't like?
Well, is Jew the same as because that is not the same. That's not one is a slur.
It's a W Damblesarian. He drops the hard R.
Right? And one is describing a religion. So you can't compare the two.
Really?
You know,
There's a way
how can you compare those two?
There's a way you say it, Dan, that the intent is the same.
It's not the same at all.
So retarded.
One is a slur. One is a racial slur that I don't use. And the other one is describing an ethnicity.
You just used it.
Well, are we adults? Can we talk about a word?
Sure.
Was a word so offensive that that it just, you know, you can't say it? We have to say
the answer to that is yes.
So that's retarded. See, that's what I'm talking about. That's so cucked. So cucked by them. So cucked. I love that Dan Bilzerian doesn't fold on this. I love that he refuses to fold to them. Let's even see. I'm going to pull up his X account, see if he's talked about it today. Let's see. Let's pull up Dan Bilzerian's. If not, we'll just go on to the comments after we wrap this up. Let's see. He didn't really say much about it, to be honest. The only post he said about it is this right here, where he responds to Jake Shields. He goes, "My man," for saying, "I endorse Dan Bilzerian for Congress." Under the post, it says, "Breaking. Conservative influencer Dan Bilzerian just filed to run for Congress in Florida District 6 as a Republican against GOP Rep. Randy Fine. The primary election will be held August 18th. Like, this is awesome. Like, and here's the thing, like, so many people are here, they're like, "Oh, but Nick told us to vote Democrat." It's like, again, if you have an America First candidate, vote for the America First candidate, you fucking retard. He's not telling you not to vote for the America First candidates. He's just telling you not to vote for the GOP retards. Ugh. Someone goes, "Armenians usually aren't as cucked on questioning Jewish power." No, they are not. And that's, again, like, that's my biggest complaint with Dan Bilzerian, I will say. He needs to get rid of his Armenian passport if he wants to hold office in Florida. I am not going to budge on my, my mindset of I don't want anybody holding two passports to hold office in America. I'm not going to budge on that for him. I do want him to drop his Armenian passport if he is going to officially run for office in America. That is something that, Dan, you should do. And if you did, it would... Your campaign would skyrocket a lot more. People would notice it. People would see that as a true America First move. And that's something that you should do. But overall, like I said, I am supporting Dan Bilzerian in this race. If his message makes it to you, Dan Bilzerian, by some, if someone clip this, if someone sends this to Dan Bilzerian, I will work for your campaign for free. I will be on the ground. I will be throughout Florida. I will campaign for you on this show. I will campaign on the ground. I will do what needs to be done to get you in office and get Randy Fine out for free. I am America First. I'm a fan of you. I've read your book. I support the new stuff you're saying. Again, I had some problems with some of the stuff from the past, but I like the gambling. I'm not going to lie. I'm a fan of the gambling. And to be honest, we both worked in the same space as well. I used to own a weed company. You used to own a weed company. Let's get this done, big guy. Let's get this done. Let's get Dan Bilzerian elected District 6 in Florida. This would be incredible. But with that is going to be our entire show. We are going to move on to the comment section of our show. Thank you guys all for tuning in. Thank you for being fans of the show. Remember to like, smash the follow button, leave a comment. We read all the comments at the end of each show. Rate the show 5 stars on Spotify. Follow me on X, Instagram, whatever platform you are watching on. And remember to scan the code up in the corner.
Florida_man, just followed on kick.
Let's go, Florida man. Let's go, Florida man. Someone goes, "Is that your district?" No, it's not my district, but I will still support him. I could still, Dan, I could be available. It is not my district. I don't even, what is my district? '87. District 87. It is not my district. But Dan Bilzerian, you have my full support, and you have my loyalty to this. I will fight for you. Again, and if you want me on the ground, door knocking, whatever needs to be done, recruiting, I will be there for you. If you want to run campaign events and you want assistance with that, I will be there. If you want to set them up throughout Florida, I will be there. If you want to set them up in your county only, I'll be there. Whatever you need, Dan, I'm here to help you get elected. Same way I offer that to Fishback, same way I help Fishback with that a little bit, I want to help you. I want to get America First politicians into office, and I believe Dan Bilzerian could be one of them. But okay, we are going to go on to the comments. Oh, here we go. This is my favorite and least favorite part of the show sometimes. Yeah, starting off with a negative one. Here we go. I had it muted. Okay, now I gotta listen to this twice.
You are dumb as fuck, holy shit.
Yeah, but saying I'm dumb as fuck and not saying any reason why just shows that you're a retard. You're saying I'm dumb on the episode about Groypers helping America. You're a retard. You don't think Groypers will save America? Fuck off.
My impression of the repayment for the Iran damages is to utilize the straight-end toll access to recoup the losses, so it's not a direct American payout, but by no means what we should be having to worry about.
No, I read more into it. They are expecting us to actually pay money towards rebuilding.
Trump should have kept the JCPOA. That was better than whatever clone shall we having going on now with Iran. False flag attack coming soon.
Yeah, probably. Probably.
Shocker face with rolling eyes. At least the homeland isn't getting attacked yet.
It has been attacked, though. We literally had the night we launched the war, we had a shooting in American soil. Well, Americans died.
TBH. We all knew this was going to happen. Every ceasefire that Trump has secured since his second inauguration has failed, except for the Indo-Pak one, which I don't think the ACC helped at all.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's because of Israel. Less because of Trump. It's because of Trump, but it's because of Israel.
I feel like it's intellectually dishonest to pretend they're a god. Indoctrination isn't a choice. I doubt I'd really care if the immigrants were white Christians. You're a immigrant, stupid. Once we wear all black, and guess what? One day we will all come together into a brown. Who care? Western culture will survive on its own merit.
Kill yourself. That is that's disgusting. Saying one thing, you don't know how to spell for shit. If you're gonna call me stupid, learn how to fucking spell, you worthless fucking retard. Second, you go, you were an immigrant once too. No, I wasn't, actually. My great grandmother and grandfather were immigrants. And they came and they built this country. They built the big cities and the railways, and they built the transportation systems in this country. They fought in the world wars of this country. So you don't even know what the fuck you're talking about. Second of all, you saying we're all going to be brown one day. Who cares? No, that's not an outcome I'm willing to accept. How about that? I want the white race to live on. And not only do I want them to live on, I want the white race to thrive. I want the white race to have not even seen its best days yet. I want the best days to be in the future, not behind us. So no, I'm unwilling to accept that, oh, we'll all be brown one day. Fuck you. My descendants will never be. Fuck you. You are the scum. Like, seriously? Fuck you. We'll all be brown one day. Fuck you, pussy. Fuck people like that. Fuck people who are like, oh, we're all going to look like Ben Simmons anyway one day. Kill yourself. Fuck you. I don't want to look like that. I want white kids. I want to look white. I want my grandkids to look like me as well. Someone said, the streamer says he wants to stream with you. He's live right now. His kick is... What does he want to stream about? Who is this guy? Okay, let's see. Is this real, or are you just being a fucking retard? What is this? What am I about to search and find? I don't. He's streaming a fucking video game. Like, what are you talking about? The fuck are you talking about? I don't know. Tell him to hop in my live chat if he wants to fucking stream with me, or else I'm just not buying this. I feel like this is... I don't know. I feel like this is not realistic. Okay, we're going to keep going on with the comments. If he joins the live chat and asks me to join on his show and tells me what's up, yeah, maybe I'll join him. Maybe I'll stay on for a bit. It's up to you, though. Oh, fuck me. I have it muted. All right, here we go with the comments again.
Since you say Rodgers is better than both Roethlisberger and Breeze, then between Roethlisberger and Breeze, who do you prefer?
Drew Brees was way better, but Roethlisberger had bigger balls. And I like Roethlisberger more, just like personally, but Brees was way better.
This actually pretty funny. The only thing you guys agree on is Sports Face with tears of joy. I personally think Big Ben was smarter than Brees, especially with that one play where he led the defense to believe he had spiked it, kneeled it, and ended up throwing it to Brown for a TD.
Roethlisberger was smart. I don't know if he was smarter than Brees. I mean, he has a high football IQ, but it's like you could find specific moments from like anybody with that. Like you could find, like you could make an argument that like Stafford has a way higher IQ, football IQ than like both those guys. You know, you could always like find a specific moment to be like, look how high this guy's football IQ is. You know, I do know that exact play you're talking about. I wouldn't necessarily say that Roethlisberger was smarter. I mean, Roethlisberger, didn't he get accused of rape? I wouldn't say he's smarter than Brees. I would say for that fact alone, Brees is a little smarter. Football IQ, if that's the argument you're making, I would still maybe even give the edge to Brees. I don't know, though. That is a tricky question because those are two guys with similar football IQs, but like very different understandings of the game. Roethlisberger was less technical, but ballsier and a true understanding of defenses, while Brees was a lot more technical and rule-oriented. Very different guys. You might be right. Roethlisberger could have a slight edge the more I'm speaking it out loud. I don't know. I'd have to think about that one. That's a good one. Who has a better football IQ, Roethlisberger or Brees?
It was a spike BTW, not a kneel.
Yeah.
And Brees went 1-0 in Super Bowls. Big Ben went 2-1 with two different head coaches.
Yeah, I mean, but here's the thing. Like, if you remember, like, what... You probably weren't even born. Maybe you were just born. I don't know, because I think you said you're 15 or some shit, Jamin. But when Roethlisberger played the Cardinals in the Super Bowl, which I think was 2009? I think it was 2009 or 10. When they played and Roethlisberger secured that second Super Bowl, I don't know if you remember, but a lot of it, like, obviously you got to give the quarterback credit where it's due. He won a Super Bowl. And he did make that incredible throw that Holmes caught. Like, that was one of the biggest things. But a lot of it was James Harrison and the defense. A lot of people forget that like, the Steelers' defense is partially what carried them. And Antonio Brown arguably is one of the greatest receivers of all time who had one of the greatest downfalls of all time. One of the most tragic downfalls. So I don't know. It is like an interesting topic when you talk about the Steelers, because they do have a crazy last 20 years, you know, with Le'Veon Bell, Antonio Brown, James Harrison. Who was that corner they had who they literally used to have to change rules for this guy because the defenseless receiver rule came from him because he used to beat the fuck out of people. I forget.
17 and surely more to come.
No, it's from Grandma's. Dude, like, fuck Grandma's boy. He's so annoying, so retarded. I love how this guy goes, dude, this guy wants you to hop on, and then he just hops out. Like, what the fuck were you even talking about?
What are a lot of other countries doing right now? Like, there's no way some random country isn't doing some weird behind-the-scenes shit while everyone else is busy with this. Great chance for Russia to randomly get spies in while we aren't actively looking for them.
Yeah, possibly. I mean, again, like, I think over everything, what this is showing with other countries is, like, the United States will make promises and not deliver when it comes to threat. Like, the United States will make a lot of threats and never deliver. I think that's not a good thing to show to the world.
Sometimes it takes big words to get something done.
Shut the fuck up, Christian. Sometimes it takes big words to get the... Shut the fuck up. You think it, like... Threatening to nuke somebody is not a good thing. Like, that's objectively evil, and you call yourself a Christian. How?
America not the same as Europe because it's always had non-white cultures. Some were even here before, and although I think the conquest was justified, I don't think those cultures should eradicated.
Yeah, but you're arguing that more cultures should be able to stay within America. Like, Somalian culture wasn't here, it needs to go. Like, a lot of the cultures that are being brought to America need to leave.
Now, Christian, if Biden had said the exact same thing Trump did, then let me guess you wouldn't support it and would call for him to be removed from office. Does that sound right?
Rare Jamin W.
Not even trying to be mean, Christian, but you gotta start thinking for yourself and stop letting Trump do the thinking for you. I don't fanatically follow Trump, I'm just dedicated to most of his policies, including on immigration. I definitely wouldn't use those words, but in the past when Trump has used harsh words, it's worked out.
Besides boomers and Jews, Christian, you're the only person I know who supported this war.
Name one thing Trump has done as president you disagree with. I'll name a couple I agree with. Operation Warp Speed, and getting us out of Afghanistan. Sending Greg Bovino to do deportations. Adding Stephen Miller to his cabinet. Calling all Somalians trash. Trying to take Greenland away from Denmark and mocking people's deaths.
Thank you for the follow. Much appreciated. I love how Christians like things I disagree with. Sending Bovino to do deport. Like, why do you disagree with that? That's the only guy I wanted in there. Calling all Somalians trash. Why do you disagree with that? They are trash. Like, again, like, see, Christian, you don't even like the good things Trump does. You just like the shitty things he does. It's actually insane to me.
We should impeach Trump. This is way too far. I don't love Vance, but I don't think he's as crazy as Trump is right now.
Yeah, probably, but like the problem is he could be way worse, or even if he's not way worse, it's who he's owned by. Like, he's owned by all the same lobbyists as Trump. He's also owned by Peter Thiel, which is another huge problem in itself. The thing is, we really just like, and again, everyone hates the point of like, oh, we need the Democrats to win the midterm, but it's like, we really just need to halt Trump. Like, that is what needs to happen. We need to halt the administration. We need to halt them from being able to accomplish these Israel first goals.
Exactly.
I hate when people do one-word responses in the comments because then I play it. I'm like, why'd I even fucking play that?
Isn't there enough Senate Republicans against Trump now to convict him? Or are there still too many brain-dead GOP senators?
Dude, Israel funds the Senate. What are you talking about? Aren't there enough people against Trump in the Senate? They're all owned by Israel. Donald Trump is Israel's greatest weapon right now. Jamin, you have to realize that it is Israel and Jewish supremacy. Like, you have to realize that.
Trump is literally living up to his name. TACO, entering us into illegal wars and then pull out when he knows he is screwed. Israel, this Israel, everything is Israel with you people.
Because it is, you fucking idiot. It's also organized Jewry.
Christian, this is because of Israel.
It, like, the fact that he doesn't see that is crazy.
It's part of it, but not the only reason.
Christian, again, you've been a viewer for a while. Me and you have back and forth a lot, and I try and remain somewhat nice to you, but it's like, shut the fuck up. Like, shut the fuck up, Christian. What are you talking about? No, this isn't because of Israel. It's only partial. It's all because of Israel. None of this benefits us. None of this. We had the Strait open before. We don't have it open now. Israel sabotaged the negotiations a week ago. They sabotaged the ceasefire again. What the fuck more do you need to see? Someone goes, fries in the bag, Jew. Wait, what? Wait, what? Wait, what? Or design is same thing, but without the money. LMA, fries in the bag, Jew. Wild. Fries in the... Dude, Christian, you're crazy. Groiper's mom joined the chat. What's up, Groiper's mom? We love Groiper's mom. We love Groiper's mom.
Why the hell are there 3 flags in your PFP?
Yeah, Christian, why are there 3 flags in your profile picture? I'm curious. Aren't you just American?
Can't wait till we go back to not having octogenarian presidents.
Dude, I just want a president who is not a Jewish supremacist. Like, I just want a president who is anti-Israel.
I think I'm just salty against Rodgers as a Bears fan. Look what he did to us for 18 years.
Yeah, I mean, well, one, you're not even 18, so that's crazy that you would say, look what he did for 18. You weren't even alive for part of it. But true, he did rape you guys, and he did it on Percocets. But you also have to look, like, he had so much talent around him, but even in the years he didn't, like, Richard Rodgers caught that touchdown, and then Janice caught the other fucking Janice caught that long pass, and then Richard Rodgers catches that Hail Mary. Greg Jennings was a beast. Randall Cobb was a beast. The running backs were consistently in the middle, but sometimes, like, Eddie Lacy was a beast. He did have a lot of weapons, but Rodgers was incredible. And, like, I get it. If you're a Bears fan, you're not going to like Rodgers. But Rodgers was a fucking beast. Love Rodgers. I love Rodgers. And I think he's kind of become, like, a little bit of a weirdo, but he was a beast.
Packers have just gotten incredibly lucky. 3 consecutive great quarterbacks. Brett Favre, then Rodgers, then Love.
But that's not luck. That's not luck. That, like, it's skill to notice an undervalued player and to, like... Aaron Rodgers started at community college and then went to Cal. Like, Aaron Rodgers wasn't like this prospect on everyone's mind originally. You know what I mean? Like, they saw something in him that people didn't. And that's a lot of these people. It's like a lot of the best players were not drafted. Like Tom Brady, 199. James Harrison wasn't fucking drafted. And this is a common theme in the league. Brock Purdy, like, wasn't he 199 as well? I'm just saying, this is what happens.
If you look at the amount of QBs each NFC North team has had in the past 30 years, the Bears, Vikings, and Lions are all at 8+ QBs. The Packers are at 3. F the cheeseheads.
Yeah, but you also look at, like, who the Bears, the Vikings have... Like, the Lions are at, like, 2 over the last how many years? They had Stafford and they had Goff. And, like, the Lions aren't part of that. Let's be honest. It's not the Lions. It is... Wait, and Lions are at 8+ QB? Are you saying all 3 of them combined make 8+? Or are you saying they all had 8+? Because that's not true if you're saying they all had 8+, unless I'm just retarded. But to my knowledge, Stafford's been there for a very long time, and then Jared Goff took over. But to look at the Bears and Vikings, it's like they just haven't been able to lock down a real quarterback. And you look at the guys they have tried to develop, like, no shit, they haven't been able to develop them. They drafted shitty talent, and I could have told you that before they drafted these guys and picked them up and signed it. Like, again, blame your front office. Don't blame the fucking quarterbacks for, like, they weren't going to deliver for whoever they were playing with.
We had one good year this year, and all the Packers fans started crashing out on us. They got barely even a taste of what they have done to us since 1991.
Well, to be honest, I get, when you go from winning, it's hard to start losing. I get that.
Fuck NFL for a second. Best favorite college tradition?
Oh, okay. College tradition. You want to hear a West Virginia college tradition we used to do? I mean, there's a couple things that I look back to West Virginia and I'm like, I missed these specific moments and traditions. And like one of the things is, let's see if I can pull up a video of it because it is truly incredible. Like this right here is all like, I don't even, can I show it? I think I can. Let's hope. The audio is not great on it, damn. But, like, hearing 50,000 people sing Country Roads at the same time, it's awesome. I love the song Country Roads, hold it deep to my heart, dear to my heart. It's a great song. So, like, that, the singing Country Roads after each touchdown was a cool tradition. But you want to hear my favorite college tradition, which is something they actually made illegal in the city of Morgantown, which is where I went to college, Morgantown, West Virginia. We used to burn couches after every football win. We used to, literally, you'd go to a thrift store, you'd buy a couch for like $5, $10, and you would set the couch on fire on the street or at your fraternity. And that was a tradition, and they made it illegal, and it stopped. But that was cool. That was one of my favorite college traditions. Like, I was there for a lot of crazy shit in college. Like, I was there for this, like the W riot. I was there for this right here.
Cold weather and snow causing some chaos around the region tonight. Started first thing this morning with a blast of snow and slippery roads.
Then a water main break put a freeze on the T in the South Hills, and a snow day at WVU turned into a riot off campus. Students clashed with police in Morgantown when they refused to get out of the middle of the street.
It started with sled riding and snowboarding, and it ended when police used smoke bombs and pepper balls to break up the crowd.
I got hit in the chest with one of those pepper balls. So out of a paintball gun, they shoot paintballs filled with pepper spray, and it hurt like a motherfucker. So that's when I see these protesters bitching. It's like, I kind of get it a little bit when they get pepperball. It hurts. It does.
Joins us now with new details on this. David.
Situation will yell and hundreds gathered on Spruce Street, a steep street near campus.
They're like canoeing and shit. People were biking down the hill. They were setting shit on fire.
Down for the event. And as you can see in these pics on social media, the crowd grew bigger and bigger. Some young people even sat on a porch roof to get the best view. Soon, though, the mood changed. Morgantown police, campus police, and sheriff.
Yeah, I was there for that. That was a cool thing. But like I said, the couch burning tradition was cool. I mean, like, I wasn't there for this, and I was younger for this, you know, but I do remember the night it happened, because I remember my dad woke me up screaming, celebrating. But the night they killed bin Laden, so that same hill that we were all sledding down, it wasn't snowing at that time, it was May. So that same hill that we were all sledding down, the night bin Laden was killed, Morgantown went crazy. They set a couch on fire inside of a dumpster and rolled the dumpster down that hill, and it ended up like causing like a huge thing because it crashed into like 20 cars. It went into a building. Like, it was a fucking nightmare for those people. But Morgantown goes crazy, and people don't know, but like this little fucking town in the middle of West Virginia is a crazy town. They set shit on fire. It's almost all white people, and they go hard as fuck. Wang halves truly reside in Morgantown, West Virginia. And I will say, like, I don't know. I'm not one of those people who, like, still lives in college or any, you know, well past those days. I can't keep up with those days. But when I do look back on specific memories that I really, you know, appreciated and look back to a college, and I'm like, you know, that was awesome. It is the country roads at the stadium. It is the burning couches with your friends after a win. It was those like little things that were just like so incredible and unique to that place. So I like that question. You know, college tradition, favorite college. I feel like that's a good question. Oh, what the fuck? Yeah, I don't, like, this guy must be paying bots to come into people's things and, like, have them spam. Because, like, this guy saying the weirdest shit in my chat about this other guy.
I really don't know why anyone is surprised that Trump said this. I've had a lot of doubts about this war too. I just choose to be optimistic. Radical Islam is cancer.
It's radical Judaism is a cancer too.
What are your thoughts on Rob O'Neill?
Again, like, how honest do we know? Like, I don't know how honest he is. We don't really know. If he's honest, you know, whatever. Like, if I was the guy who killed bin Laden, I would tell people too. You know, can you blame him? I didn't like that they tried to ruin his life over saying the N-word either. Like, it's like, again, this is America. Like, you could say whatever the fuck you want. Who cares? Like, who really gives a shit? We all have to be adults at a point. Again, nothing too wrong with the guy, but I always am suspicious of anybody who is, like, very inclined to be in the spotlight in that way, you know? So it's not like he's out there starting his own show, like, reporting on geopolitical politics and Navy SEAL stuff, and it's not like he's doing what Sean Ryan's doing. It's just, it's a little different. It's like he's on a press tour, and you always have to be cautious of that. Like, somebody on a press tour that's a little... You gotta watch that. But that's all our comments today. That's the entire show for the day. Hope you guys enjoyed the show. Hope you guys have a great day. Hope you guys found it informative. We went over, like I said, all the sabotages that Israel did to sabotage this ceasefire. We talked about the misrepresentations between the 10 and 15-point plans. We talked about why this war is still continuing, why it happened in the first place. We talked about a lot of stuff. We talked about Benny Johnson even starting to turn on Israel a bit. We talked about the generational gap when it comes to Donald's and Fishback. We talked about Dan Bilzerian running for Florida representative against fat fuck retard Randy Fine. I also want to take a moment to thank our donators for the show. Thank you, JT Strongbow. You are the man. Thank you so much for your donations on Kick. Thank you to the people who followed on Kick as well. Remember to like, smash the follow button, leave a comment. We read all the comments at the end of each show. Rate the show 5 stars on Spotify. Groiper's mom, we love you. Thank you, Groiper's mom. Thank you so much. Truly appreciated. Groiper's mom, one of the fans of the show. Thank you so much. Truly appreciate you. I hold you dear in my heart. Thank you for everything you do. But with that, we are going to sign off for the day. Join our Telegram channel by scanning the code up in the corner. Staying updated on all things America Unfiltered. We will be back tomorrow on Thursday. Hope you guys do have a blessed day, a blessed night. Thank you.
sorry. But I don't want to be an emperor. That's not my business. I don't want to rule or conquer anyone. I should like to help everyone if possible. Jew, Gentile, black man, white. We all want to help one another. Human beings are like that. We want to live by each other's happiness, not by each other's misery. We don't want to hate and despise one another. In this world, there's room for everyone. The good earth is rich and can provide for everyone. The way of life can be free and beautiful. But we have lost the way. Greed has poisoned men's souls, has barricaded the world with hate, has goose-stepped us into misery and bloodshed. We have developed speed, but we have shut ourselves in. Machinery that gives abundance has left us in want. Our knowledge has made us cynical, our cleverness hard and unkind. We think too much,